Remember you mentioning to Connie Ray Andreas that for some of the challenging areas and metaphors, you have found great success in doing core transformation with those parts. Can you just speak about that and your relationship with core transformation?
Now, Tamara and Connie Ray Andreas, two people I know very well. I stay with Connie Ray and Steve virtually every year over in the US. Now, their core transformation model is kind of for me, it's on the borderlines between one of the things that comes out of NLP and one of the things that comes out of genuine and true mysticism. Although I think Connie Ray probably wouldn't like me to say that because she's a very practical, not a mystical person. But I've seen this as a mystical process myself. Now, it's a process that for me, years ago, no secret, I used to have a lot of problems, but I think I was probably pretty messed up in my younger years. Core transformation is one of those models that I would say not only saved my life, but also significantly changed my life. Now, I won't go into what the model is because I understand that Mark Andreas will be over in India teaching core transformation. And I would say to anybody with an interest in personal development or an interest in working with other people, this is a must-attend workshop. The core transformation is absolutely one of those things that it should be taught in schools. Everyone should be taught this model because it's easy to learn and the implications of it are enormous in terms of what it can actually do for people. Here's what you can do, and this is one of the areas I've kind of done some experimentation with, and its results are kind of interesting. We can take components of human experience expressed in metaphor, because core transformation is about the transformation of self. What happens if we apply that to anthropomorphic entities within metaphor? So I've got a monster in my metaphor. It's like there's a monster attacking me to the left. But instead of doing core transformation on me, we do core transformation on the monster. Now this takes us into, you can't really predict where it goes. But what is interesting about the core transformation model is it invariably goes to something nice. You start off with something pretty horrible in yourself, something that's like, I don't like this. And you go through the process and you can end up in an exalted, almost spiritual state. We can create that from our perceived environment as well. I've got no long-term research. I haven't done this extensively, but it is a curious observation that interesting things and quite brilliant things happen as a result of the process.
I remember, Andy, in your book, Tales from a Rainbow Machine, you speak about, I think if I'm not mistaken, a client in South Africa was brought to you because she was possessed and you just decided to do core transformation and she kind of left the place with an angelic kind of a peace. That's what I remember from that story.
It was extraordinary. It's one of those things I wish I had on video. When I say that this person was literally carried in by two or three men, I think one of them was at least a brother or whatever. I forget the exact details now because this was a long time back. They literally carried her in. This lady was in a state. I think it would be fair to say she was in a very, very poor state. And I forget, to be honest, I have forgotten the story that, but it was possession. That was the reported manifestation. And that's what I did the core transformation on. The results in the before and after on this individual were astonishing. But it was one of those ones, because of the type of session, it was a spontaneous thing. A lot of these things I like to sit down and plan through, and I just like to actually know what I'm doing at the time. This was one of those, let's just see what happens. And it was fantastic.
Great, Andy. Thank you for your endorsement of core transformation.